Okay, in this video of gearing up for mocks LC 2024, let us work on algebra. Algebra is the base for the Living Cert curriculum. You might get direct questions out of algebra, but even for other topics like probability or functions or calculus or any other topic, you need to have a good understanding of algebra. Only then you will be able to answer the questions. Okay, so that's why it is very important that as a Living Cert student, or maybe in the 5th year or the 6th year, whenever you start working on maths, you should start with algebra. Understand all the concepts, be thorough with all the topics in algebra, then you will find all the other topics much easier. Okay, so let's start here. So in algebra, I'll start from the basics. So whenever we add some variables onto our equations, like 5x plus 2y, that becomes algebra. So variables is x, y, and are called variables. Now there are different types of equations or maybe expressions. Linear means 5x plus 3y, so there's no power in this. Quadratic means 2x square plus 3x plus 5. Then cubic, 3x cube plus 4x square plus 5x plus 6. So this is cubic. Mostly it is only till cubic which you will have to learn. There will be some problems with respect to x to the power of 4, but that again will drill down to quadratic and you can do it. I will show some examples on that. It's very important for you to understand how to expand the brackets and know the rules of simplifying. This is something which we learn in junior cert. I'm sure that you are well versed with that topic. So 5 into x plus 5 is equal to, you multiply this, then you multiply this, so 5x plus 25, and 5 and if you have two brackets like this, x plus 3, x plus 2, you take this one first, then write the second bracket, then take this one and then put the second bracket, that is x square plus 2x plus 3x plus 6, and then simplify the like term, so x square plus 5x plus 6. Okay, now they won't ask any questions like this, so mostly it will be x cube plus 3x plus 4 times x square plus 2x plus 4. Mostly it will be a question like this which will come as a part of a long question, so you will have to know how to work on these questions. So same principle applies for this also. Okay, now so then another one is x plus 3 the whole square. If you have something called x plus 3 the whole square, immediately what you can do is, like, you can write it as x plus 3 times x plus 3 and then use the previous method to simplify it. Suppose if you have three brackets like x plus 2, x plus 3, x plus 5, these all are junior cert topic. Okay, so if you have three brackets, first simplify these two and then multiply it with x plus 5. Now one small thing what you have to learn here, memorize here, is x plus y the whole cube, okay, is equal to x cube plus 3x square y plus 3xy square plus y cube, and x minus y the whole cube is equal to x cube minus 3x square y plus 3xy square minus y cube. This can be found out using the binomial expansion when you learn algebra, but if it is okay, if you can memorize it, well and good, please go ahead and memorize this, but you can use binomial expansion for this also. Okay, now we move on to factorizing. So factorizing means splitting it into different subsequent brackets. So if you have two numbers, you can just split it. So in that, one important thing is difference of two squares. So if you have x square minus y square, you can write it as x minus y and x plus y. For example, if you have x square minus 25, you can write this as x square minus 5 square, and that is equal to x minus 5, x plus 5. And suppose if you have something like 4x square minus 100y square, you have to immediately recognize this as a difference of perfect squares. So that is like 2x square minus 10y square, and then it can be 2x minus 10y, 2x plus 10y. Okay, so this is one method of doing. Or if you see this 4 and 10, 4x square minus 100y square, what you have is, you have 2 in common, so I can just take 2 outside, or sorry, 4 in common. So you can just take 4 and 4 outside and then write x square minus 25y square. Then that can be written as 4 times x minus 5y and x plus 5y. Okay, so this is also possible. If you see the previous one, here also it will happen, like the same thing will happen. So out of this you can take 2 into x minus 5y, and out of this again you can take 2 into x plus 5y, and this 2 and 2 multiplied you will get 4 into x minus 5y x plus 5y. So if you simplify any method, you will get that value. Okay, now moving on to trinomials. Trinomial means it's an expression with 3 terms, like for example 3x square plus 5x plus 4. This is a trinomial, 3 terms, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, trinomial. So if you need to factorize a trinomial, what you will do, you need to you have a method which we have already learned, like for example if 2x square plus 5x plus 3, you need to find the factorization, like you multiply this 2 into 3 6, and then you find the factors of that and write the middle term as a factor and then simplify it. Okay, and once you simplify you will get 2x plus 3 and x plus 1. I hope you all are comfortable with this topic. And if you are not able to factorize like this, you use the minus b formula. Minus b formula is directly it's there in the formula book, so you just take and write the formula. It is like ax square plus bx plus c. So if you have 3x square plus 5x plus 4, you write it like this, and a will be 3, b will be 5 and c will be 4, and then substitute it into those values. Okay, then you have sum and difference of two cubes, which is like x cube plus y cube. This is something which you have to memorize because it's not there in the formula book. X cube plus y cube is x plus y times x square minus xy plus y square. Okay, so this is to memorize, please don't forget it. Then x cube minus y cube is equal to x minus y times x square plus xy plus y square. So remember that if this is plus, here it is plus, and here it is minus. This is minus, here it is minus, and here it is plus. Okay, so this you have to memorize because as I said, it's not there. So an example, 64 minus 216x cube can be written as, first maybe 8 is a common factor, so I just take 8 outside. So and 8 minus 27x cube. Then this follows 2 cube minus 27 can be written as a cube of 3. So 3x cube. So x cube minus y cube. Then 8 into x minus y. So 2 minus 3x into 4 plus 6x plus 9x square. Okay, this is how we do this question. Then we move on to simplifying fractions. Simplifying algebraic fractions means you have to simplify the numerator and the denominator. You have to factorize it and then you have to simplify it. For example, if you have x cube minus 8 into x minus 2, you simplify the numerator like x minus 2 times x square plus 2x plus 4 divided by x minus 2, and this get cancelled. Then you have x square plus 2x plus 4. Okay, and then you have algebraic fractions, maybe 4 plus 1 over x by 2 minus 1 over x. Then you simplify the numerator, so that will be 4x plus 1 divided by x divided by 2x minus 1 divided by x. And while simplifying this, you write 4x plus 1 divided by x times x by 2x minus 1. This x will get cancelled, so that is like 4x plus 1 divided by 2x minus 1. Okay, I have another video on algebraic fractions in my channel, so please verify it if you are not comfortable with this kind of simplification. And moving on, where we have algebraic fractions, you will have multiplication, you will have addition or subtraction of algebraic fraction, simplifying, and all these things. And as I said, this might not come as a direct questions, it might come into as a different one altogether. Then from the quadratic side, I think that's more than it. And now let's move on to Surds, simplification of Surds. So Surds also, you have certain formulas. It is not there in the formula book, but it's quite easy. So if you have Surds like root a times root b, you can write it as root ab, or root a divided by root b can be write it as root of a over b. And you can simplify the Surds. Like for example, if you have root 12, what you can do is like you can write it as 12 can be written as 4 times 3, and then this can be simplified as root 4 times root 3, and root 4 is 2 times root 3, or it can be written as 2 root 3. So this kind of simplification is important when you're working with algebraic fractions, because sometimes we have to simplify then add it together and all these things. So whenever you get a large number Surd, you have to simplify it to the smaller ones. And then suppose if you have you have to multiply two Surds, like root 2 plus root 3 times root 2 minus root 3. If you need to multiply, you just use the form algebraic normal function. So it is like root 2 times root 2 minus root 3 plus root 3 times root 2 minus root 3, which is equal to 2 times 2 is root 2 times root 2 is 2. Then it is root 2 times root 3 plus root 3 times root 2 minus 3, and this will be cancelled. So it is like 2 minus 3, which is equal to minus 1. So this is how we multiply the Surds, multiply Surds. And suppose if you have Surd like this, 3 over root 5, so what you need to do is like, if you need to simplify this, you multiply the numerator and denominator by root, so that it will become 3 root 5 divided by 5. As I said earlier, root 5 over root 5 is equal to 5. Okay. Also, if you have questions like 1 by 2 plus root 2, then what I can do is I multiply it with the conjugate of this. Conjugate of 2 plus root 2 is equal to 2 minus root 2. So it is like I multiply the numerator and denominator by conjugate of this. Then the denominator, when you simplify it, it will become a normal natural number. So I will have numerator just like this, and when you simplify the denominator, you will get 4 minus 2. How did I do this fast? Is a plus b times a minus b is equal to a square minus b square, and here this is a and that is b, so 4 minus 2. So that is how I did the sum fast. So 2 minus root 2 by 2. Now the next method is solving quadratic equations. So to solving quadratic equations, we have minus b formula. As I said, you can use the minus b formula and solve the values, or you can find the factors and then solve it. Like if you write the factors and then equate it to 0, and then you will be able to do it. And suppose if you have rational equations, then how will you solve it? So if you have rational equations, you just simplify it, make it as a quadratic, and then solve it. Okay. And suppose if you have Surd equations, how will you solve Surd equations? Suppose if you have root of x plus 4 is equal to root of x plus 4 minus 2 is equal to x. How will you do it? What you should do at this time is I need only the root on one side. Okay. So in this case, what I will do is like root of x plus 4 is equal to x plus 2. Okay. And then I will square both sides. So then this one will be square root of x plus 4 the whole square, which is equal to x plus 2 the whole square. And square root of a square is equal to a. So it is in this side it will be x plus 4, which is equal to x square plus 4x plus 4 when I expand this. And then I bring everything to the left side, and I will get x plus 4 minus x square minus 4x minus 4 is equal to 0, or minus x square minus 3x, 4 will be gone, so that is equal to 0. Or I can multiply it by minus 1, which is like x square plus 3x is equal to 0, or x into x plus 3 is equal to 0, so it is x is equal to 0, or x is equal to minus 3. Okay, this is how we find the value. And x equal to minus 3 is not a solution because this is root involved, and so x is equal to 0 is the answer. Now if you have to solve linear and quadratic, linear and quadratic equations. How will you do it? So if you have x plus 2y is equal to 4 and you have x square plus y square equal to 16, what you do, you find maybe x out of this, which is like 4 minus 2y, and then sub into this value. So when you sub in, you will get 4 minus 2y the whole square plus y square is equal to 16. Then you simplify this and then solve the values and you will get the final values of y and x. Okay, so I think I have videos on all of this. So this video is just an overview on to give you how to tackle our questions. The detailed ones are again there. Then you have simultaneous equations. You all know simultaneous equation, how to solve the values. So there will be 3 simultaneous equations which you will have to solve. So I've seen questions in coming up in the Living Cert where you will get 3 solved. So it's see, this is one topic which you can learn it off, okay, because if you do practice maybe 5 or 10 questions, you will get this topic. So if you have 3 simultaneous equation, I know you all know the method. So solve 2 equations, eliminate one variable, and again solve the second and the third equation, eliminate the same variable, and then you will get 2 equations from which you can find the values of x, y and z. Okay, so please practice this because there has been question in the Leaving Cert on this topic. Now there is a factor theorem for this. So factor theorem, it can be used to find the factors of or roots of a polynomial function. So what you can do is like if you have a polynomial, you can okay, yeah, there's one important thing what you have to learn here is if you have a quadratic, there will be 2 factors. If you have a cubic, there will be 3 factors, etc. Okay, and if you want to use the factor theorem, like for example, it's saying that x plus 3 is a factor. Show that x plus 3 is a factor of x square plus x minus 6. Okay, and then you have to find the other factor. So how will you show that this is a factor of this equation or expression? So x plus 3 means x is equal to minus 3. So what I do is like I take f of minus 3, which means I am subbing in the value of minus 3 in this one. So minus 3 square plus minus 3 minus 6. So that is equal to minus 3 square 9 minus 3 minus 6, which is equal to 0. So if you get a 0, we can say that x plus 3 is a factor. So always remember, if you say that x plus 3 is a factor, you have to sub in with the other value. Like for example, x plus 3 is a factor means you imagine this is 0 and then x is equal to, you bring the 3 this side, it is minus 3. Okay, another example, if x minus 2 is a factor, what you think is you imagine it as 0 and then bring the 2 this side, so x is equal to 2 and you put f of 2. Okay, this is how we find out. And then how will you find the other factor is you just divide x square plus x minus 6 divide by x plus 3, then you will get some value here and then you can factorize, and then you will be able to find the second factor. And as I said, for the quadratic there are 2 factors, for the cubic there are 3 factors. So if there is a cubic equation, how will you find the factor? So if you have a cubic equation, what you do is you just sub in with some certain values, like sample values. Maybe you try f of 1 or f of 2 or f of minus 1 or f of minus 2. This is random. Okay, so there's no specific rule for this, but you can try it with 1 2 minus 1 minus 2 etc., and then see whether anything equals to 0. If that equal to 0, you can say that if f of 1 is equal to 0, you can say that x minus 1 is a factor. Or if f of minus 2 is equal to 0, you can say that x plus 2 is a factor. Okay, once you get one factor, you can divide and then you get a quadratic equation, and from that quadratic equation you can find the other 2 factors. Okay, so now we move on to inequality. So inequality, again you go back to the number system, which is like set r n, set and r. Okay, natural numbers, integers and real numbers. So here whenever you are denoting the natural numbers in this one, it is like 1 2 3. So you just put a dot here. Okay, whenever you are writing in natural number. Okay, and for z it will be, sorry, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2. It goes on to both the sides. And if you are denoting something, you just denote it like this. Okay, but for real numbers, okay, so if it is real numbers and if you have to denote certain values, what you do is you just draw a line like this. Okay, that is how we do it. And if 1 is included, you just darken it like this. If 1 is not included, then you put a like for example, if I'm saying that x is greater than 1, x is an element of R, then what I will do is like I'll put a circle like this and then darken it. Okay, and what is this? X is greater than or equal to 1, x is an element of R. Okay, and there's certain rules for solving for inequality. Let's see with a question. Okay, solving inequality. So x plus 2 over 4 greater than x plus 1 over 3 plus 1 over 3, where x is an element of R. So when you are solving inequality, this is an important thing because that is how we will draw the number line in a proper manner. So in this case, what I'm going to do is like since we have 4 and 3 as a denominator, we will just multiply it with 12. So what you will get is 3 times x plus 2 is greater than 4 times x plus 1 plus 4. So then that is 3x plus 6 is greater than 4x plus 4 plus 4. So 3x minus 4x is greater than 8 minus 6. Minus x is greater than minus 2. Now here, this is one thing which you have to remember. If there is a negative x here, you multiply it by negative 1. When you're multiplying it with by negative 1, you have to reverse the sign. So it is like x is less than 2. Okay, and that is the inequality. And if you need to denote it in the number line, we know how to denote it as in the previous solution. Then similarly, you can get combined inequalities. Like there are two inequalities and you have to represent it in the number line, so that will come. And again, if you there are quadratic inequalities also. So you solve the equation, you find the values and then set the values in the number line number line as per the values which you have gotten in there. Okay. Now this is a very important concept, discriminant. Okay. Sorry, let me just write it neatly. Discriminant. So as I said, we can find the roots of a quadratic equation using the formula, minus b formula, which is there in the formula book. So that holds like minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, x is equal to this one. Out of this, b square minus 4ac, that is called the discriminant. So b square minus 4ac is called the discriminant. Okay, why we say it is a discriminant is if you have b square minus 4ac is equal to 0, we know that it is two equal roots. And if you have b square minus 4ac which is greater than 0, you have two distinct roots, which means there will be two roots, but those two roots will be different. Okay, and b square minus 4ac is less than 0. There are no real roots, but we will have complex ones. Complex roots means it is including the I factor. Okay, then b square minus 4ac is greater than or equal to 0. This can be used to prove roots are real. Okay, so you will get question, like there have been many questions on this. They will give a quadratic equation and they'll ask you to prove that the roots are real. So to prove the roots are real, you find b square minus 4ac. They will have values and all these things, and then show that okay, this is greater than 0, and so the roots are real. Okay, sometimes they will ask, okay, show us whether the this equation has equal roots. Then you find b square minus 4ac and then show that it is equal to 0. Okay, now moving on to the modulus factor. There is modulus. Okay, modulus means it is showing the absolute value. For example, if the modulus of minus 6 is nothing but 6 without the positive or the negative value. So in modulus, what can be the questions? Okay, solve, like for example, x plus 2 is equal to 6. Okay, so modulus of x plus 2 is equal to 6 means that x plus 2 is equal to 6, or x plus 2 is equal to minus 6. Okay, because it's a modulus, you need to write for both the values. So then x is equal to 4 or x is equal to minus 8. X is equal to 4 or x is equal to minus 8. And then okay, these are the values, and that is how we find the values. Now you can find this using squaring both the sides and also solve the inequalities of the inequality of the removing the modulus operator. For example, if you have 2 times x plus 1, modulus of x plus 1 is equal to modulus of x minus 2. X is an element of R. Okay, for this question you are squaring both the sides, so which is like 2 times x plus 1 the whole square, 2 square times x plus 1 the whole square is equal to x minus 2 the whole square. So 4 times x square plus 2x plus 1 is equal to x square minus 4x plus 4. Then you simplify everything, then you will get 3x square plus 12x is equal to 0 divided by 3, which is like x square plus 4x is equal to 0. X into x plus 4 is equal to 0. X is equal to 0. X is equal to minus 4. Okay, this is how find the value. There can be modulus inequalities also, which you need to solve the values.